Evening, guys. Welcome back to another episode of The Music Den. I am your host, Armando Venditti. And in this episode, I'm going to continue discussing jazz fusion. And I'm going to be discussing an artist that some people would call a genius, some people would call an innovator, one of a kind. All these kinds of adjectives that you could use to describe this person's musical ability are valid. Born December 1st, 1951, with the given name John Francis Anthony Pastorius III, also known as Jaco Pastorius. Jaco Pastorius passed away September 21st, 1987, due to an altercation outside of a nightclub, and he, a few days later, succumbed to his injuries, unfortunately, at the age of 35, which is way too young. Jaco Pastorius grew up in Miami, and at the age of 16 began playing bass in local bands. He was active from 1966 to 1987 till his passing. The documentary that I'm going to be discussing in this review is a documentary that was produced by Robert Trujillo from Metallica, and it is this documentary right here, Jaco. This is the two-disc Blu-ray edition of it, and it was released in 2015. I picked this up in 2021. This documentary covers the life, the loves, and unfortunately, the tragic end of Jaco Pastorius. And in terms of his musical ability on bass, unreal. Like, could not be touched. The participants in this documentary run the gamut. You have people who give their opinion from Lee from the Red Hot Chili Peppers, Geddy Lee from Rush, although he appears in a small little snippet, Sting, Wayne Shorter, Herbie Hancock, Peter Erskine, who played with him in Weather Report, Joni Mitchell, a bunch, like just the Robert Trujillo himself also appears in the documentary. The list goes on, and it's a beautiful account and a very detailed account as to what went into the working mind of Jaco Pastorius, from his working as a bass player in clubs, to getting a deal with Epic Records, signing, releasing his first album in '76, joining Weather Report, subsequently leaving Epic due to frustrations with the record company, and signing to Warner Brothers, releasing Word of Mouth, which was his debut for Warner Brothers in '81, featuring the tracks, the first track on the album, Crisis, which is a cross-section of musical styles that pretty much scared the shit out of Warner Brothers for it being the first track on the album, because they felt that one track was going to stop them from being able to get airplay on the radio for the album, featuring other tracks like Blackbird, and the final track on Word of Mouth, John and Mary, dedicated to his kids. Jaco Pastorius played again with people such as Pat Metheny, Joni Mitchell. He played on her Shadows and Light album. He actually toured with her for that tour. But it's stated that he quickly began to show some erratic behavior, and that when it came to recording his tracks for his albums, that he quickly, I don't know, I guess you could say he self-sabotaged the projects. And getting into drugs and drinking didn't exactly help him. He was diagnosed at one point with bipolar disorder. So that would have explained his behavior. And it's a beautiful documentary, but it's also very sad that someone who basically was at the pinnacle of his abilities and his talent and his musical viability, to just then plummet to the point of being homeless and living in the park. A lot of people were quite saddened and quite shocked by the way his life had ended. But just to backtrack a little bit, he tended to, as I said, he tended to sabotage himself with regards to his recordings and with regards to his friendships with people. Joni Mitchell recounts a story where she was in an art gallery in Soho. She came out and she saw a sign at a club across the street, and it said, performing tonight, Jaco Pastorius. So she went in, and he saw him at the bar, and he wanted her to perform with her. And she said that he basically sabotaged her performance that evening, and which was the last time she ever saw him. So, I mean, it's sad. It's sad. I mean, you hear a lot about how these are certain artists who basically have everything going for them, and they basically let it slip through their fingers from one form or another. But this documentary has an additional, as I said, Blu-ray disc with bonus features, bonus interviews. And let me see if I can hold this up again. My apologies, ladies and gentlemen. The documentary features just two features, interviews, outtakes with, again, with Flea, Joni Mitchell, Carlos Santana, Mike Stern, among others. Again, this is widely available. You can get this on Amazon. You can get this on, I got this on Amazon. It's got, like I said before, Amazon is my musical Bible to go to get stuff. So yeah, and I paid about $35 for this at the time. It's down now to 26. So, prices do fluctuate, but you can get this at any place that sells music, and you will not be disappointed in this documentary. As I said in my previous video, jazz music or jazz fusion isn't really a music genre that people readily are open to, but you know what? Give it a chance. You won't be disappointed. You have really, in my very humble opinion, you have nothing to lose and a whole world of music to gain by at least taking a chance and taking a shot and listening and watching these documentaries, or listening to an album from Miles Davis or from Jaco Pastorius. So that's it for this video. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Please hit like and subscribe, and hit the notification bell, please, to keep you up to date with any videos that are coming up that you might be interested in. And that's it for now. Hopefully you guys are having a great day, and we will see you very soon. Bye for now.